good, motherfucker. I told you, didn't I? Drama makes the world go around. Has anybody got a problem with that? Yeah, my business is my business. Who's guilty? Can I get a witness? First things first, the chocolate starfish is my man Fred Durst. Access Hollywood license to kill a redneck fucker from Jacksonville. Bringing on the dumb stuff funk. A microphone machetes in the back of my trunk. Rocking so steady with the he says, she says. And don't forget about the starfish navigation system. Don't hate me, I'm just an alien with 37 tons of new millennium. Dum diddy dum, where's it coming from? Mrs. Aguilera, come and get some. Oh no, which way to go? To the dance floor, it's Super Stereo. Pay me no mind. I seen the Fight Club about 28 times. And I'ma keep my pants sagging. Keep a skateboard, a spray can for the tagging. And I'ma keep a lot of girls on my bandwagon. Cause I don't give a fuck, living life in the fast lane. I'm just a crazy motherfucker, living it up, not giving a fuck, living life in the fast lane. Another crazy motherfucker, living it up, not giving a fuck, in the fast lane. Take two. Now who's the star sucker? I'm the starfish, you silly motherfucker. Puff, puff, give the marijuana cig. Oops, I don't even smoke, but I love the way it smells. Here's a toast to the females. Sipping champagne from a seashell. I think I counterfeit and pop his ass like a zit with the starfish navigation system. No cheap thrills, baby. Fill the briefcase with $3 bills. I'm just an ordinary run-of-the-mill fella, spitting out hella mic skills. And I'ma keep my pants sagging, keep a skateboard, a spray can for the tagging. And I'ma keep a lot of girls on my bandwagon, cause I don't give a fuck, living life in the fast lane. I'm just a crazy motherfucker, living it up, not giving a fuck, living life in the fast lane. Another crazy motherfucker, living it up, not giving a fuck, in the fast lane.
Live.
Cause it's so easy to tell a lie, and it's so easy to run at night, but it's not easy to be alive, so don't be wasting none of my time. This world's like a cage, and I don't think it's fair. And I don't even think that anybody cares. It'll lead a hole down inside of me. And it'll leave a scar. Can anybody see that we gotta get it out? We gotta get it out. We gotta get it out. And I'ma get it out with the motherfucking microphone plugging in my soul. I'm a renegade wife getting out of control. I'ma keep it alive and continue to be flying like an eagle to my destiny. So can you feel me? Hell yeah. Can you feel me? Hell yeah. Can you feel me? Hell yeah. If you feel me, motherfucker, then you say hell yeah. Then you say hell yeah. Then you say hell yeah. I'm living life in the fast lane. Cause it's so easy to tell a lie, and it's so easy to run at night, but it's not easy to be alive, so don't be wasting none of my time. Yeah, bring it on. I'm just a crazy motherfucker, living it up, not giving a fuck, living life in the fast lane. Another crazy motherfucker, living it up, not giving a fuck, in the fast lane. Days with my own two hands. We've traveled this land, packed tight in minivans. And all this for the fans, girls, money, and fame. I played their game and had to scream my name. I will show no shame. I live and die for this. And if I come off soft, then chew on this.
Are you scared?
Devil without a cause, and I'm back with the beaver hats and Ben Davis slacks. 30-pack of stroll, 30-pack of hoe. No Rogaine in the propane flows. The chosen one, I'm the living proof with the gift of gab from the city of truth. I jab and stab and knock critics back.
Bunch of wounded ducks. When you gonna learn, sucker? You just can't fuck with.
No, lady, how about you shut the up? I'm doing YouTube, bitch.
American badass, watch me kick. You can roll with rock or you can suck my dick. I'm a porno flick, I'm like Amazing Grace. I'm gonna fuck some hoes after I rock this place. Super fly, living double wide, sidecar my glide, so Joe C can ride. Full sack to share, bringing flash and flare. Got the long hair, swinging middle finger in the air. Snakeskin suit, 65 Chappelle. See me riding sin, hear the rebel yell. I won't live to tell. So if you do, give the next generation a big fuck you. Who knew I'd blow a black punk warmer? Said fuck high school, pissed on my diploma. Smell the aroma, check my hits. I know it stinks in here, cause I'm the shit. They call me cowboy, I'm a singer with black. So throw a finger in the air, let me see where you're at. Say, hey, let me hear where you're at. Say, hey, I'm giving it back, so say, hey, show me some letter to say, I'm a cowboy, badass and black, singing, from side to side, from front to back, say, I put Detroit City back on the map for singing, Kid Rock's in the house and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, good morning.
He's a Florida man, Lou. How's everybody doing? Happy Thursday. This is Uncle Lou here. That's right, it's me, Uncle Lou. And I'm live for you on LouTube today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also in addition to that as well. Yeah, welcome to Uncle Lou After Dark, the call-in show. YouTube's longest running college football call-in show too. We've been doing this show for years. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. We do this year round. There is no off season on LouTube. None. If you're a casual fan, great. See you in August, I guess. I don't know. I can't relate. I don't know. There is no off season around here. We talk football year round. Appreciate you tuning in. 101 of you here. 39 have hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up now. We're gonna get to the phone calls here in just a second. The Josh Heupel news yesterday. I made a video on that. Some of you, most of you, have probably seen it. Gunnar Stockton today commits to Georgia. Class of 2022. Is he good? Yeah. That's a long way away. So let's pump the brakes a little. He's a Georgia kid. Yay! That's amazing. I think he's good too. Well, but these kids commit, decommit, uncommit, recommit, whatever. So I try not to get too excited or too carried away. And my biggest concern really is, oh my God, what is Kirby going to do with back-to-back 5 stars? Whichever one he chooses, everyone's going to automatically assume the other guy's better just because he's Kirby Smart. So I have a lot of different thoughts on that. Most of my thoughts, I think, on the Gunnar Stockton situation, I'm going to save and do a video on that tomorrow. Point of this show is to hear what you guys have to say. Anyway, this is a call-in show. No one gives two hoots or a holler what I got to say about anything. Anyway, 706-786-4481. 706-786-4481 is the number. If you want to get on the show, that's the number you call. If you can't figure it out, get your mother to help you when she brings you your Hot Pocket. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou, it is Coy down here in the land of the lizards.
Coy, what's up, buddy?
It's a great day in Dog Nation, brother. I'm not a math guy. Matter of fact, I'm absolutely horrible at it. Maybe not as bad as Chess Hall, but pretty bad. I think, and check my math on this. I think if you take the number of 5-star quarterbacks that Dan Mullen has signed, and you add it to the conference championships that he has won, I think you come out at 0. Is that correct?
I'm no scientist, but I do think that's right.
That is correct. And Kirby, this dumb coach up in Athens is what the people here in Gainesville like to call him.
Right.
Is stacking up 5-star quarterbacks like cordwood.
Yeah.
So I do know this, and they're gonna allude to exactly what you did about mishandling the quarterback situation earlier. But it's a proven fact that if you don't get them on campus, you don't even get the chance to piss them away. So that's step one that our boy Average Nan is struggling with there in Gainesville.
That's true.
So,
and if you get them on your team, there's a 100% chance that player won't be on another team, at least for a year.
Yeah, that's more solid math you just pulled off there. By the way,
I think me and you might be confusing an awful lot of people with this math.
But no, obviously they're going to take shots. You just mentioned that you were going to make a video on the Stockton situation, so I won't ask you to give away much. But I thought I remembered you kind of hinting that, hey, given the choice between the two, Vandegrift and Stockton, you personally kind of like Stockton better. Is that too much to ask right now, or should you save that for the video?
First of all, I'm not an expert on any high school player, whether they're committed to Georgia or not. I say that I try to be upfront about that. I'm not a recruiting guru or whatever. I do put some stock into who a kid plays against in high school. And because Brock Vandegrift is in such a small, private Christian league, his competition just week in and week out isn't up to par with some of the other QBs, including Gunnar Stockton. Now, Elite 11 camps and other high-profile camps have sort of negated a little bit of that because a kid like Vandegrift can show up at these Elite 11 camps and compete directly against top defensive players and next to other high-level QB recruits, so it makes them easier to evaluate. Now, when they played against each other earlier this year, it was on ESPN. And again, to be honest, that's the only game I've ever watched Brock Vandegrift play, and it's the only game I've ever watched Gunnar Stockton play. They played against each other earlier this season. Gunnar Stockton was clearly the better of the two quarterbacks in that game. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything. So I guess a short way to say it is I don't really know. I think Brock Vandegrift is the number 2 overall quarterback in this year's class. Gunnar is the number 2 overall quarterback in next year's class. Is it possible they're both terrible? Yes. Is it likely they're both terrible? No. And we have JT Daniels this year, and I know he's not terrible. So I like our chances in 2022 now of being able to field a decent quarterback if Gunnar Stockton sticks to his commitment. And again, I hope he does, because even if we misuse him or whatever, at least he's not scoring touchdowns against us for someone else. You know who would love to have a quarterback just like Gunnar Stockton?
Probably quite a few.
Dan Mullen.
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy, and we both said the same thing. We exactly what you said. We'd feel better if these guys were putting up these numbers against Colquitt County or Lowndes County or Valdosta. But, they are where they are, and that's all they can compete against. So, like you said, the camps take out some of the mystery, but you'd feel better if they were doing it against some of the powerhouses in Georgia. But,
and again, it doesn't mean the same thing it used. I mean, it's not quite the same as it used to be because you have a lot of camps. And let's remember, Herschel Walker played in a high school that had how many kids? 500. He played in one of the smallest high schools in Georgia. So just because you play in a small school doesn't mean you can't be any good. I just think it's harder to evaluate week in and week out when a kid's playing really bad competition. And we do the same thing as college fans, right? We look at somebody like De'Aaron King at Houston, and we're not all that impressed that he puts up monster numbers against teams we've never heard of before. What do we always say? Oh, come do that in the SEC, or come do that in the ACC, whatever the case. So we sort of apply that same logic even to our fandom in college football, and I do think there's a little bit of truth to it. I mean, it's more impressive to watch somebody beat up a really good team than it is to beat up a nobody. But with the camps and that, I mean, I don't. It's hard for every single recruiting service to get something that wrong. To have a kid listed as the number 2 QB overall and he be a complete failure, the odds are not very good of that happening. Now, he may turn out not to be the second best quarterback in that class. Maybe he's the 10th best or the 20th best or something. But which is even more reason to try to stack them. Now, if they were both in the same class, I would be having a complete meltdown right now because that would just, I wouldn't be able to. Oh no, this is terrible. But they're staggered. Yeah. So now I've been saying this since the minute this guy committed, but this just further cements my original theory. Carson Beck will never play a snap and will transfer probably after this season. I was never big on Carson Beck. I don't know. He may be looking to transfer now. I don't know. Well, he may stay because he might be the number 2 this year if they redshirt Brock. So maybe he stays this year, but I think he'll be gone. I think it'll be obvious to him this year that Brock is better than him, and I think he'll look to get out after this year.
Yeah, as he should.
Yeah, and I wouldn't blame him.
It won't matter to Georgia. So
I wouldn't blame him.
He needs to do what's best for him.
Right.
So,
yep.
Anyway, hey, I'll let you get to some other callers.
All right, Coy. Good to hear from you, buddy. Yep, thanks for calling in. Good to hear from you. Appreciate all of you tuning in, too. Hit the thumbs up, 57 thumbs up, and 200 people in here. We can do a little bit better than that. At least, give me at least a halfway. Half the people watching are enjoying this, aren't they? I think at least half should be enjoying this. If not, I need to reevaluate what I'm doing. Megan, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for investing in LouTube. Screw GameStop and AMC and Bitcoin and Doji, whatever the hell that is. In Bed Bath & Beyond and BlackBerry and Nokia and COS. Forget all that. Thank you for investing in LouTube. Will someone please tell Average Dan that he's allowed to sign a 5-star QB? I think he knows he's allowed. Problem is he doesn't have the ability. Thank you for the super chat. Yep. Graham Garrett, thank you for investing in LouTube this evening, sir. A wise investment. He says, thoughts on Gunnar Stockton coming to UGA? Well, I guess you left that before that last phone call. I'm probably not going to talk that much more about Gunnar Stockton today because I'm doing a video on that tomorrow. But if you heard the last phone call, I think you have a pretty good idea of where I stand on the Gunnar Stockton thing. Thank you guys for supporting the show tonight. I appreciate it. Let's see who's next up on the line here. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hello, Uncle Lou. I had a question for you. And I was asking, what schools is Gunnar Stockton going to transfer to in the 2024 season?
What school is Gunnar Stockton going to transfer to in the 2024 season? So his junior year, what school is he going to transfer to? You know who would know that? Ballard Sports Media would know that. No way for me to know what school he's going to transfer to in 2024.
Kirby's going to waste another 5-star quarterback.
Oh no! What a shame. Good thing he's got 2.
He's going to waste both of them now.
Yeah, and your team is
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
Yeah. What's so funny? We're better than you this year.
Hey, Cadet.
What's so funny?
Hey, Cadet. Cadet. Get on your face. Get on your face, Cadet, and give me 10.
Better than you.
I want 10 right now,
Georgia
Cadet.
sucks. Missouri's better than Georgia.
Missouri? My God. Sir, stop the trolling. Yeah. Put the Kool-Aid down. Texas A&M is a disaster. My God, how many years you got to be in the SEC before you can win a division? My God, what a joke, Texas A&M. Hey, yell practice. What is?
We have Alabama in our division. Y'all
we got Alabama. Whose division? What about Auburn? Does Auburn have Alabama in their division? What about LSU? Yeah, but Auburn wins the West. Auburn wins the West with Gus Malzahn. You can't win it with Jimbo Fisher. What a joke. What a disgrace.
Jimbo Fisher's
Why
only
yell
been there for
practice,
3
too?
years.
Let me explain
Jimbo
something to you,
Fisher's
son.
been on
I
the-
came out of the womb yelling. I don't need any fucking practice. You bunch of dipshit, redneck, hillbilly, shit-kicking turd stains out there in Texas that have to show up at midnight at a half-empty stadium to practice how to yell are about
And that's the
fucking
reason we're the
retarded.
loudest- That's the reason we're the loudest stadium in the country.
Bullshit. Tell me more about the stolen
Oh,
valor.
yeah,
Y'all
we
are in a
are.
military
Yeah, we
school.
are.
Quit acting like a military school. Stolen
Hey,
valor.
military
That's what that
school's
is.
better than
You're an
this school. A
ROTC
military
school.
school's better than
You're a
this school.
joke. You're an ROTC joke. You're not even a military school yell practice. What a
Hey,
joke.
Georgia Bennett,
You
hey,
give me 15
Georgia
push-ups,
Bennett's dogs
cadet.
under the
Hey,
stadium.
cadet. Yeah,
Georgia
I said
Bennett's
give me
dogs under the
15
stadium.
push-ups. You clean the shit out of your ears. God damn, you can't hear a fucking word. Fuck is wrong with you? Calling in here with the dumb
What
shit.
the fuck
Texas
is wrong with you?
A&M, my God. What a joke. Texas, you're like the 6th best team in your own
Georgia,
state.
what a joke.
What a joke. We beat the bejesus out of you last year without completing a pass, didn't we?
No, y'all wouldn't. We beat Florida. Y'all didn't.
Who the hell is, what does that have to do with last year? My God, you really can't hear, can you? I said, we beat you last year when we played you. Do you remember when we played you one year?
Yeah, we played you. We played you in 2019. The
Yeah,
year's
that was
2021.
last year,
In
and
the
we
2020
beat you.
season, in the 2020 season, we beat Florida. Y'all didn't.
All right. Y'all want to make it this kind of show? Then we'll make it this kind of show. Call in for a free education. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Louis, Dominic, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Man, what a joke on that last call. Honestly, I agree with you. What a joke.
What's on your mind?
Oh man, just college football at this point. I heard that what was his name that was going to LSU? Blake Baker?
Yeah, the coach from Miami that they can't stand. They should send Ed Reed over
Oh.
there too. Send Ed Reed to LSU too. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Worthless.
Yeah,
Anyway,
you do have a point
ain't
there,
got enough
Lou.
sense to come out of the goddamn rain.
Yeah, you do have a point there. I mean, yeah, Ed Reed should go to LSU as
Director
well.
of football operations.
You do have a point there, but I mean,
A job
I'm
that
sorry,
doesn't-
go ahead.
It's a job that doesn't exist. It'll help with recruiting.
Oh.
Shit, yeah. You know what'll help with recruiting is winning games.
yeah,
It's a lot
at
harder
this-
to win.
at
It's
this
a lot
point, I
harder to win
think-
games than it is to give Ed Reed a job that doesn't exist, though.
yeah, absolutely.
Texas A&M. What a goddamn fucking joke.
All right, well, we'll let you take some other calls. You have a good night,
Yeah,
buddy.
thank you. I appreciate you calling in. It was exciting. Yeah, good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou, though.
1980s.
An LSU fan calling in and yelling, "Whoa, Tide." My God. I hope you choke on a beignet. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, good morning, Lewis Ballard. How you doing tonight, man?
Ballard, don't start with don't ask me no dumb question right now.
No, I don't even remember what I was going to call up about. I'm laughing at these stupid potatoes.
Ballard, I
gosh.
watched some pointless video you made today, and there was no poster on your wall.
Yeah. I'm still, I don't know. I'll get it up at some point. I promise.
After this phone call,
I'll get it up within the next week.
I need somebody in the comment section, please. Ballard, after this phone call, I want you to go back to the comment section. I need somebody in this comment section that has a lot more patience than I do, which is any patience at all. If you've got any patience at all, you've got more patience than I do. Please, in a clear, concise, and elementary manner, explain to Ballard in the comment section, please, how to hang a poster on a wall. Now,
I know how to.
Ballard, no.
Ballard,
if you knew how to hang a poster on your wall, there would be a poster on your wall, son. You've had it for 3 weeks. So don't sit here and say, I know how to hang a poster on the wall. You don't know. That's why you sent me a text message that says, how do I hang this on the wall? So, no, you don't know. So now I'm trying to help you now. I'm trying to help you. Now, I don't have the patience to help you. But maybe somebody in the comment section does. I don't know. So I'm trying to help you now. What did you call in for this evening, sir?
Georgia gets another quarterback. Is this what I'm hearing? Are y'all becoming the new quarterback university or something?
This is for 2022, Ballard.
I mean, Brock Vanderbilt.
Don't y'all sign a quarterback every year? I mean, so this is for 2022.
Yeah, but I mean, for Georgia, I mean, y'all had Fromm for the past few years. First off, Eason didn't work out.
This is nothing new. We signed Eason in 16, Fromm in 17, Fields in 18. Who'd we sign in 19? Carson Beck. Hot do. Who'd we sign 20? Brock Vander Dump. Who'd we sign in 21? I mean, Brock. Anyway, you get the point. This is nothing new.
Yeah.
Nothing new. Getting them is not the problem, okay? We have no problem signing them. No one should be surprised that Georgia signed a highly rated QB. That's not the problem. The problem ain't getting them. That's not the problem. We can get them, no problem. Getting them is not the issue. So you shouldn't be surprised.
And Kirby has had a hard time with that outside of JT.
Well, and even with JT, he didn't start the guy till it was too late. So, I mean...
Right. I honestly think that had you started him early on in the season, maybe y'all win your division. If he had started against Florida, y'all would have won that game. You know it.
Listen, I hate Florida. Florida's offense was amazing.
Yeah.
Florida's offense was amazing. Mm-hmm. They may have beat us with or without JT Daniels. I don't know. I don't know if we would have been able to score enough points even with JT Daniels. I have no idea. There's no way to know. And I'm not one of these people that looks back and goes, oh, well, if we'd have done this, we would have beat you. No, Florida won the game.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it. Florida won the game. I'm not going to take anything away from them by being one of those people that says, well, I don't have to say it. I mean, everybody knows Georgia's a better team with JT Daniels than they are whatever those other two half-wits were we trotted out there. That's not the question. The question is, were they better enough to beat Florida at full strength? I don't know. I have no idea. It obviously would have been a much more competitive game. I mean, to say that, to disagree with that would just be stupid. But I don't want to be one of those people that comes on here and says, oh, well, yeah, we'd have beat you if we'd have done this or this. We didn't do that, so it doesn't matter. We lost. So.
Yeah, and I don't understand. I mean, even in the Alabama game, y'all were against Alabama. You guys were up at the half with Stetson Bennett.
Ballard, who's the biggest threat? Who's the biggest threat to Alabama in the SEC in the foreseeable future?
I hate to admit it, but it's Georgia.
Of course, and I mean, y'all are still the cream of the crop, the best team with the best talent, the best coach, no doubt about it. But these people that these other people that aren't Alabama fans but swing from the woe tide nut hairs. Oh, Alabama beat the doo-doo out of Georgia if they play in the SEC title game. You don't know that, and I tell you right now, Georgia is the team. If they're looking for somebody to knock Alabama off in the SEC right now, it's Georgia. So,
Right.
Will it happen? I don't know.
Well,
They're one of, if not the most talented teams in America, and they have the greatest coach of all time. It's not going to be easy to beat them. But to say Georgia's got no chance, these people are potato level 1 million. I can tell you that right now. Georgia is very well positioned to compete with Alabama and anyone else. So, in fact, that makes people.
Georgia's going to win the East next year. Georgia is going to win the East next year. We know that for sure. Alabama not going to win the West because let me tell you something. You know who they got on the schedule? I mean, they always have them, but they have to go to the barn.
Wait,
dude,
why? Stop trolling. Stop trolling, man. I'll be the first to tell you, I don't think Alabama's going to be quite as good this coming year as they were this last year. But they're still going to win the West. Right. You're trolling. You know that. Auburn's starting over. LSU will be better than they were last year, but not good enough. Do I even need to mention Texas A&M? I mean, come on. You know?
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't be surprised. This is the type of year where Alabama's got a really good team, probably wins the West, but maybe goes 11-1. I mean, I don't think anybody would be surprised if you get into another track meet game with Ole Miss and maybe they beat you this time. I mean, it happened before when they had Hugh Freeze or whatever. So, I mean, something like that could happen. You would still – the thing about Ole Miss is they're good enough to beat Alabama, but they're not good enough to win the rest of their games. You know, they're not good enough to win week in and week out like that. So they might have a good week. Texas A&M, when they had Manziel, beat Alabama, still wasn't good enough to win the division. They lost a couple other pointless games. And I'm just throwing Ole Miss out there. I'm not saying Ole Miss will beat Bama, but this looks like one of those type of years for Bama to me, where maybe they slip up once in the regular season, and it won't matter. You're still going to win the West with one loss. Same with Georgia. Georgia could lose to Clemson. Won't matter. Still wind up in Atlanta with where a win will get you to the playoffs. So. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Alabama drop a game somewhere along the way this year.
Really, the only team, and I only say this because Bama has struggled this one here, and they got to go to the barn.
Yeah, no one's taking you seriously. That's the problem. The barn's starting over with a brand new coaching staff. They lost their best defensive player. Bo Nix is hot doo-doo confirmed. The coach they got's not any good.
Yeah.
Who's worse, Josh Heupel or that Harpison, whatever the hell from Auburn? Who's worse?
I don't even know. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I don't even know that it matters. All right, Ballard, thank you for the call, buddy. It was good to hear from you. Get that poster hung up. Go back to the comment section, Ballard. If somebody in the comment section takes some time, explain about how to hang up a poster, I'll consider it a personal favor to me. Dylan Deloney, thank you for the super chat. He says, you got the Texas A&M fan good. Well, it's low-hanging fruit, picking on Texas A&M. Bama Banker, thank you for the super chat. He says, congrats on the beatdown, Lou. Who the hell is Texas A&M? Who the hell is Texas A&M? Fake military. They send all their freshmen off to some re-education camp at the beginning of school, too, and teach them all those silly-ass finger dances and shit that they do. And why do they have male cheerleaders? The world will never know. Good morning, but you're on with Uncle Lou, though.
Hey, Lou, it's Nate, the Press Warren fan. Nate, the Great Don't Be Late, a.k.a. Me Kingston. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, Nate. What's up, buddy?
Not much. I have a fact of Texas A&M. They're a fake military school.
Confirmed.
Yeah, okay. But anyways, I was gonna ask you about Michigan's coaching staff with Harbaugh. Like, I know they're pretty young because the Harbaugh has now young coordinators and stuff. But
Michigan's not winning. Michigan's not winning the division. They're not beating Ohio State, and Jim Harbaugh's getting fired at the end of the year.
I know that, but I just
that's going to be my answer to any question you ask me about Michigan.
Okay. Mars is underrated. Bye.
Did he say Marshall is underrated? I think that's what he said, and then he hung up. Are you trying to troll me, Nate? Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
I bet you $100 Vanderbilt win the East.
Sir, if you gathered nickels from now till kingdom come, you'll never have $100. Thank you for the call, though. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Gunner Stockton committing.
What?
Well, how do you feel about Gunner Stockton committing to Georgia? I just got on the show. I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna go over it again. The first caller asked me, and I spent about 15 minutes on it. So you have to go back and you have to go back to listen, and I'll also be putting a video out on that tomorrow. But thank you for the call. It was great to hear from you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hello. I think A&M's going to win the national championship next year, dude.
I can't hear what you're saying. You're gonna have to take the Twinkies out of your mouth. What'd you say?
I think Texas A&M is going to win the national championship next year.
I think you should pull your bottom lip up over your head and swallow. See what happens.
Uncle Lou, you're so dumb.
Nothing gets past you.
Nothing gets past you either. I think that Farzard's going to
Oh, that sounds like that's most likely a tapeworm, sir. Thank you for the call. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Yeah, just saying, how bad do you think Clemson's going to beat Georgia?
They're not.
You're telling me Clemson won't beat Georgia?
Rewind the tape. Yes, that's what I said.
All right, we saw DJ destroy other teams, and you don't think he'll be able to destroy Georgia?
Who'd he destroy?
Y'all can't even.
Can you answer? Hello? I don't know. Is this thing on? I said, who did he destroy? Hung up. We saw DJ Ukulele destroy other teams, he said. Who? Name them, please. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, what's going on, Uncle Lou, man? This is Cleve.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Creeping death. Not much, man. Have you heard any more news about Eric Gilbert? I've been trying to find something, any update on him.
No, I haven't heard anything, so I'm sticking to my original theory.
And that he's not coming to UGA?
No. I'd love to have him. I think he's the best tight end in football next year, but I don't think he's coming to Georgia. My guess is right now would be Florida, Alabama. Yeah, those would be my two guesses right now.
All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate the time, man. And,
all right.
I'll let you get back to the other callers.
All right, buddy. Good to hear from you. Yeah, kind of strange. I haven't heard much about Eric Gilbert. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hello?
Come on in.
Oh, sorry. The first time caller. Hey, Uncle Lou. This is David.
Hey, what's up, David?
I'm a Georgia fan. I was wondering what you think if Kirby has evolved in his coaching, because I remember like the first couple of years he wouldn't call timeouts, he wouldn't give the ball back to his offense, but you saw in the Missouri game he gave the ball back to his offense. Just because, do you think that
in certain areas, I do think he has evolved. You mentioned one of them, which is end of first half, sort of the aggressiveness that he shows at the end of the first half. I still think he makes some poor decisions in the second halves of games that we're winning, particularly when he puts backup quarterbacks in the game and doesn't let them throw the ball. I just think that's stupid. Another area I think he's improved in is his philosophy towards the offense. I think has improved. I think he's finally awakened to the idea and the fact that offenses are winning now. And it doesn't matter how good your defense is. If you're scoring 25 points a game, you're not winning a national title, period. You got to score in the 40s to win these big games. I think he's finally realized that. Does that mean we'll do it this year? I don't know, but I think it's pretty clear he's realized that. I mean, we won 2 games with JT Daniels last year, and he only played, 4? or 5, whatever it was.
5 games.
We won 2 of those games that we would have lost
because of him.
We would have lost those 2 games with any other quarterback at any other time in Kirby Smart's tenure at UGA. Period. And because we couldn't run the ball in either of those games. So, and that was a recipe for a loss in Kirby's first 4 years. And you can just tell by the plays, by the play calling, by the routes, the formations, things like that. You can tell that his philosophy has changed offensively. Now, it didn't show up in the stat sheet the first 4 or 5 games of the year last year because of what we had playing quarterback. But still, if you watched the plays, you could tell it was a different playbook we were calling from. Of course, Todd Monken gets a lot of credit for that. But without Kirby giving the okay to move to that type of offense, it wouldn't have mattered what Monken wanted to do. So I do give him some credit for that. I still think he struggles with some in-game decisions. In the Cincinnati game, 3rd down, we don't get it. He calls a timeout.
He should have gone
and I'm thinking, oh, we're going to go for it. Great. He called a timeout. No, he calls a timeout just to punt the ball. I didn't agree with that. Now, it ended up not mattering because Cincinnati did something even dumber than we did by throwing the ball on 3rd down. And then which enabled us to get the ball back with enough time to go down and kick the game-winning field goal. But I still think it was a poor decision. And then he's had some very high-profile poor decisions at the end of games too that we don't even need to get into with the fake punts and different things like that. But so I think he still needs to improve in those areas. So it's 50-50 for me right now. I mean, I can see him getting better in certain areas, and I think in some areas he's still got a ways to go in terms of being a head coach.
Going back to what you said, like you could tell the plays were different because Stetson Bennett was throwing for 250 yards as opposed to Jake Fromm 170, 150.
Right. Yeah. And then JT comes in and it, it goes from 250 to 400.
350, 400.
Yeah, right. Twice he had 400 yards. I think once he had 390, but basically twice he had 400 yards, Mississippi State and Cincinnati. So, and we haven't had 2. You have to go all the way back to Aaron Murray to find the last quarterback that had 2 400-yard games. So it's been a long time since we've seen that in Georgia. And the good news is we still have really, really good running backs. Really good running backs.
Going back to what you said, I think Kendall Milton is the best running back. I think
I do too. I think Kendall Milton. Yeah, I do too. If you look at all the running backs that were on the team last year and this year, I think in the end, when it's all said and done, 5 years down the road, when you look back, I think Kendall Milton will have had the best career. He looks really, really good to me. Yeah, I agree. Hey, thank you for the call. It was good to hear from you. Let me catch up on some super chats, and we'll get right back to the phone lines here. The trolls are trying to get in, so make sure we give them their airtime here. Bama Banker says $10 for every Texas A&M troll. Thank you, sir. Bama Mike, good to see you in here tonight, sir. He says, what a great show, Lou. Hit the thumbs up, peep. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. 261 watching and 118 thumbs up. That's below the 50% threshold. Hit the thumbs up. It doesn't cost anything, and it doesn't take you any time to do. So if you enjoy seeing me yell at people, hit the thumbs up. Syracuse and Buffalo Sports, thank you for the super chat. He says, Lou, is it you going to ND Sean live stream using family member name? Is that you doing that? Could you elaborate on that? Just a yes or no? No, I haven't been to an ND Sean. I don't remember the last time I went to an ND Sean live stream. I don't know any of his family members' names. And what else does that say? No, so I don't know anything about that. No. Indy Sean's a piece of human garbage. I don't have any interest in him, and plus he's got me blocked over there anyway. So no, I haven't been on one. I don't remember the last time I was on one of his live. Last time I talked to Indy Sean 45 is when he was on BVD's show. I don't even remember how many months ago that was. So the answer is no. Beggin Megan, thank you for the super chat. He says, thoughts and prayers for Carolina Crack Pipe. It's been a tough week for him. It has been a tough week. For him. Shout out to Indy Sean, though. A human pile of poo-poo.
Uncle Lou, I'm going to bring you in. I'm not talking to him. I really don't want to talk to him.
Yeah. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou. How's it going?
It's going great. Where's Lane Kiffin?
Well, Lou, I think it's pretty clear what happened.
Well, what's clear
I
is
give
that
Tennessee credit.
you just have to say you were wrong and then move on. I mean, that's all you can do.
Well, I mean, I've never said Lane Kiffin was going to come to Tennessee.
Well, of course you did.
I said that I thought Lane Kiffin was interested in coming to Tennessee, and I stand by that.
I mean, that's not what you said, but okay.
I believe Tennessee did not give him an interview. I think he wanted an interview. I don't really blame Tennessee for not giving him an interview.
These are all the things I tried to tell you when you called in, though. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Point is, it's Josh Heupel. Doesn't matter. So.
Now, do I think that Lane Kiffin would have taken the job? I don't know. I think he would have, but I don't know. There's no way of me knowing that.
Well, you don't want to let it go, so I'm not going to let it go. But this is a totally different tune than you had 2 weeks ago when you called in, and you guaranteed that Lane Kiffin was going to be the next coach of Tennessee. So, I mean, we played the tape back, but that's what you said. So, I argued with you for 15 minutes, and you didn't want to hear it. So, but anyway, what's on your mind?
Well, we were arguing.
What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Well, okay, look, I give Tennessee credit for this hire. Okay. Josh Heupel, no Tennessee fan, and when they started this hire, when they fired Jeremy Pruitt, was thinking about Josh Heupel. All right. Tennessee tried to go with a big name, and they failed. Tennessee tried to go get Matt Campbell. He wouldn't give an interview. They tried to go get James Franklin. He interviewed. He got to the late stages, but he ultimately turned it down. And it's been reported that he probably would have taken it if it weren't for the sanctions. But the sanctions exist, and it is what it is. They then tried to go get Tony Elliott, Clemson offensive coordinator, and he turned it down.
Oh.
Now I give Tennessee credit because they tried to get two big names, and they failed. That's more than previous administrations have done.
No, sir, stop. No, sir. I'm sorry. You can't come on here and just say that, sir. Y'all offered the job to 9 people before Pruitt.
Yeah.
They all turned it down. So don't tell me you never offered the job before to big name people or whatever you just tried to tell me. That's just not true.
Lou, they did not go after James Franklin. They did not go after Matt Campbell. They went after coaches like Jeff Brom at Purdue. That's not swinging for the fences. That's a decent hire. But that was not swinging for the fences like they tried to do here.
Okay. Now name the other 8 that turned it down. General. Buddy.
Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but you're not going to convince me that Mike Leach is trying to go get Mike Leach at Washington State or trying to get Jeff Brom at Purdue is the equivalent of trying to go get James Franklin or Matt Campbell. It's not. They tried, and they failed. That's more than the previous administration did. And they came closer to getting a deal than the previous administration did. But the fact of the matter is...
Now, why should we believe you now when you were so wrong 2 weeks ago?
Again, if you want to go back and look at the tape of what I said, that's fine. It was last week. I don't remember when I called in. I never guaranteed Lane Kiffin was taking this job. I said I thought Lane Kiffin wanted the job. I thought Tennessee should give him a call. I thought he was a candidate. Now, as it turns out, he was not a candidate.
Who was in here 2 weeks ago when he called in and said it was going to be Lane Kiffin? Who was in here?
I did not say it was going to be Lane Kiffin. I named multiple other names other than him. If I said it was going to be Lane Kiffin, I would have just said it was going to be Lane Kiffin and not mentioned any other names. I thought Lane Kiffin would be a candidate. Turns out he was not a candidate. I was wrong about that. I thought UT would give him a call. They didn't. Tennessee did not consider, for some reason, any Jimmy Sexton clients this time around.
But you think Lane Kiffin would have taken it? You're sticking by that?
No, I don't know that. I think Lane Kiffin would have. What I said, if you go back and look at the tape, was I think Lane Kiffin is trying to get involved. I think he would interview. Personally, I think he might have taken it. I don't think it's a guarantee. I think he would have thought about it. And
how many coaches do you think that just took over a job coming off of NCAA sanctions are itching to take another job right away, fixing to go into NCAA sanctions? Is it only Lane Kiffin, or are there other coaches that also like to coach at places that are under sanction? Or is Lane Kiffin the only one?
Lou, Tennessee was trying to offer what Tennessee's strategy was in this high. They know their job is unattractive right now.
Strategy?
I mean, we all know that. You're about to get a shit ton of NCAA sanctions. You haven't won in over a decade, at a high level. You haven't won 10 yet. I was like 2 the last time they won 10 games. All right? This is not a program that's attractive based on its name anymore. What Tennessee's plan in this search was to do was they were going to flash a lot of money, and they did, and they were going to see if they could get somebody. It was reported by somebody credible. I'm not exactly sure who it was. I think it was Trey Wallace of Fox Sports Now. It was somebody. And they said that they offered Franklin a long-term deal worth $50 million. That's pretty much the extent of it. Now, somebody else said it was like $7-8 million a year. I don't know. They tried to flash a lot of money to attract somebody, and they got told no. Previous administrations went to the bargain bin. They went big. I give them credit for that.
And how much are they paying Heupel?
I believe $4 million. I believe it's a 6-year deal. You're not going to pay that money to Josh Heupel. Now, you got James Franklin.
Why would you?
You got Matt Campbell.
Yeah, why would you?
You would.
Yeah, right, exactly. Not even Tennessee's that dumb.
Yeah, I mean, of course. But I mean, the fact of the matter is, this Josh Heupel, I mean, it's a question mark. I don't entirely think he's not gonna succeed.
It's not a question mark, General. It doesn't matter. Okay, Nick Saban could take over Tennessee tomorrow. You would be lucky to win 8 games in any season over the next 3 seasons. Period. It doesn't matter who the coach is. It doesn't matter.
I get the whole thing you're trying to do.
Do you disagree? You have 60 scholarship. You have 40
at
scholarship
Alabama
players on your team right now. You have 40 scholarship players right now. Today, 40. You're going to sign 25. Okay, you're going to field a team next year with 65 scholarship players. 65 scholarship players next year. Then you're losing. Then you're losing scholarships every year after that for the next 3 years or so. You're not winning. I mean, what's a successful season at this point for if Heupel goes 6-6, you ought to get a raise and an extension.
I mean, Lou, look, I don't know whether this hire will be successful.
I do know.
I don't know
okay, but I do. Just like I knew about Pruitt. I mean, you don't have to be Lustradamus here to figure this out.
Okay.
He's not going to be successful because successful to the Tennessee fan is an unattainable goal. It doesn't exist. It's impossible.
Again, you're going off of this stereotypical view of a Tennessee fan that expects to go 10-2 every year.
First of all, stereotypes exist for a reason. Second of all, I can tell you right now, no Tennessee fan is going to be happy when you're winning 7 games in 2025. Not a single one of them. But that's what you're going to be. Look, you're going to be a 7-win team in 2025.
Look, Heupel was hired to stabilize the program.
He's a stopgap. He was hired because no one legitimate will take the job. When you come off of look at Ole Miss, okay? That's what you're doing right now. Ole Miss is what was the guy's name at Ole Miss? Hell, he's
Luke. That's a fair point.
Matt Luke. That's what Josh Heupel is. And when you come out of sanctions, you'll go out and you'll get the next Lane Kiffin, whoever that is. But Josh Heupel will not be the coach of Tennessee in 2025. There's not a soul that would bet $1 on that right now. Will you?
That's a fair opinion. I'm not going to bet on something that's 5 years away, Lou.
It's 4 years away. It's 4 years away, and he's got a 6-year deal.
All right, Lou. I'm not going to bet on that because
he's not going to be there. And you shouldn't want him there. What you should hope is that he doesn't do anything to make you worse in the next 3 years. You can come out from these sanctions, and then you can go get a $9 million a year coach like you tried to do this time, but no one wants the job. That's best case scenario.
What you're saying there is a fair point. That's a fair point. You know, I'm not a big fan of saying a coach is going to fail after one day on a job, but, you know, you do you. That's a fair point from speculation, which is obviously a guess. But I'm just not comfortable saying that about a coach that has not coached a game yet and that has been on the job one day. You know, what you're saying is a fair point.
Though, but see, I'm not. I don't think he's going to fail, because I think winning 6 games at Tennessee right now for the next 3 years is a success.
I mean, that's a fair point.
So I don't think he's going to fail. What I know is that Tennessee fans, not enough of them, understand that. They're not going to be happy with that. And because Heupel is a nobody name, it's going to be easy to throw him away. And honestly, that should probably be Tennessee's plan. I'm not even knocking Tennessee there. Like, when you're heading into a situation like Tennessee's about to head into, where everybody on your team with any talent at all transfers out, and you've got the NCAA fixing to bring the hammer down, go get somebody cheap that can just keep your head above water for 3 years, and then go get, do what Ole Miss did.
That's a fair point. I'm not going to argue on that. That's a fair point. That's legitimately could be a plan.
So if he goes 6-6, I don't consider him a failure, because I don't know how many coaches in America right now could win more games than that.
I understand. What you're saying is you just don't think he's going to be the guy long term.
No.
And that's a fair point.
I don't.
That's a fair point. Yeah. I'm not prepared to say whether I agree or disagree with that, but I think that's a fair opinion to have. I don't know whether Josh Heupel will be here in 3 years. I don't know what the plan is. For me, the goal for this hire, after I found out that we'd been turned down by Tony Elliott, which is, that was the low point probably in the search. I wanted a guy that could just weather the storm. I wanted somebody that could get us, that had experience as a head coach, that could get us through these sanctions, and, like you said, get an Ole Miss type, get a Matt Luke type that could weather the storm and make this a respectable job again when the job comes over.
You sound like a rational human being, General, but the problem is, here we go. In the comments now, Josh Heupel is just the beginning. Watch and see. He's turning it around. You're all going to be wrong. Who is this? Where is it? The AD is setting them up nicely. Y'all are sleeping on Tennessee. Just watch and see. First of all, I'm not sleeping on Tennessee. It would cost me too much money to sleep on Tennessee. I can promise you I'm not going to be sleeping on them. I'm going to be yelling into a camera about Tennessee as often as I can. So I'm not sleeping on them.
Blue, looking at the comment section, I don't know what they're saying, but I don't. I understand if Tennessee fans are optimistic. You just hire a new head coach. There's not a fan base in the world.
Normally, yes. Normally, you're 100% right. It's a chance to turn the page and all that kind of stuff, and I get all that. But there's nothing to be optimistic. It is what it is. You got 40 scholarship players on your team. You're fixing to add 25 to that. You're going to lose scholarships each of the next 3 seasons, potentially a bowl ban, which you're probably going to self-impose a bowl ban anyway by not winning 6 games. But point is, you're going to be under sanctions, probation, all this kind of stuff. That's going to cost you in recruiting. And you know this, a bad recruiting class does not affect you for 1 year, it affects you for 4 years. So if you have a bad recruiting class for the next 3 years, that's going to affect you 7 years from now. You understand that? If you have a terrible recruiting class in 2023, that's still hurting you in 2025 and 2026.
Now, Lou, let me just say this about the fan base one last time. I get where you're coming from. I know what it looks like as a Georgia fan watching this. I'm saying this more as not as a Vol fan, but as a writer, as someone that has covered this team before. This fan base has been through hell. the
Yeah.
people that are still watching.
But part of it is their own making. So it's, not a lot of people feel sorry for Tennessee fans.
Have a right to be excited about a new coach. They're projecting everything they want to believe onto this Josh Heupel guy.
Yep.
And I think they have a right to do that.
Yep,
Most
that's
fan bases do that when
amazing, and they can project all that onto Josh
That's
Heupel.
fine.
Then they can sit back and watch Greg Schiano at Rutgers win more games this year than Josh Heupel does in any of the next 3 seasons at Tennessee. Thank you for the call, but y'all were too good for Greg Schiano. So, yep. But good morning, and you're on with Uncle Lou though, and also in addition to that as well.
Uncle Lou, I've been a fan for a long time. I was wondering what advice you have for me starting up my football talk show.
On YouTube or what?
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah. First advice is start yesterday. Don't quit waiting. All you need is a cell phone. Don't be one of these people that, well, I got to have this and I got to have that because such and such has this or has that. Yes, some of this stuff is nice to have, but you don't need any of it. Start yesterday. If you have a cell phone, you have everything you need. And upload on a consistent basis. Don't be one of these people that just does pointless live streams and hangouts. That's not how you grow a channel. You grow a channel by uploading videos and upload them on a consistent basis. Doesn't have to be every day of the week, but if it's going to be 2 days a week, make it the same 2 days every week and upload them around the same time every week. You have cable at home still?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a reason every cable provider in America provides a TV guide. Do you know why it is? The TV Guide channel?
Why?
Because if you had to guess what time Friends
Why?
came, if everybody had to guess what time Friends came on, nobody would watch it. That's why. So
All right.
if you can only upload
How
on
long do
Tuesday
you
and
think-
Friday at noon, then upload every Tuesday and every Friday at noon. Start yesterday.
All right. How long-
Don't say I need to wait on to get this and I need to have that and I need to. If you have a cell phone and an hour, you have everything you need to start a YouTube channel. So start yesterday. Take your time on your title and your thumbnail. A lot of people drop the ball there too. They record the video. They can't wait to post it. Take your time. Make a good thumbnail. Think of the title. Think about whatever video you made, right? And if you wanted to watch someone else that made that same video, what would you type in the YouTube search bar to find that video? And then that should be your title of your video. A detailed description. Use as many tags as you can. Basically, take your time, do everything right. That's the beginner's YouTube advice.
All right. How long do you think it's going to be before Stockton transfers to A&M to win a national championship there?
Oh, God. How long? Do you believe in
I'm
reincarnation?
predicting within 3 years he's definitely going to go on to A&M.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes.
Oh, well, then you're in luck. You might get Gunnar Stockton 40, 60, or 80 years down the road. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey, Lou, Bears, Cubs games. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, bud. What's up?
Oh, not much, man. Just hollering at you, saying hey. Just touching on that Heupel.
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of well, being a Miami fan, we haven't had the best of luck with coaches either. So,
You there? You cut out.
him that isn't.
You
What's
there?
that?
You're cutting in and out. We couldn't hear you.
Oh, the Heupel hire reminds me of the Al Golden hire at Miami.
Oh, no. Don't tell them that.
Jumping in.
They don't want to hear that.
Well, I know they don't want to hear it, but it's very similar, getting into sanctions and a team that isn't that good, and it's very similar. I think he's kind of being led to slaughter.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I don't think I don't think Heupel is a terrible hire, given the situation and the circumstances. I don't think Heupel's a great coach and is the permanent long-term answer for Tennessee, but I don't think that coach exists right now because of the situation they're currently in, plus what's coming down the road with sanctions. So I think the Heupel hire is fine for now. It's a guy that maybe gives you an exciting offense to look at for a couple of years. Look at Ole Miss. They love Lane Kiffin. They win 6-7 games a year. Yay, but our offense is fun to watch. maybe that's what Tennessee will be, and it give them a reason to be excited or something for a couple of years. But as far as him doing anything of meaning in the next 3 or 4 years, it's not happening, and it's got nothing to do with Heupel himself. No one would do that at all. So yeah, bring Heupel in because he doesn't cost you anything. Get him for $4 million a year. That's cheap in coach terms. Keep him there 3 or 4 years. When the sanctions are over, you can go out and get you a real coach.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. It kind of reminds me of the Al Golden hire. He wasn't the best coach in the world either, and he wasn't the long-term answer. But that's just a reminder to me. I mean, like I said, this is coming from a Miami fan, and I've seen some shitty stuff go down in Miami, and same in Tennessee. So it's just a very similar hire with the sanctions coming and the problems that they've had as a football program in general. So I just think that's a very similar situation. But, hopefully, he can at least steady the ship for a while and, like you said, until they get a new coach. But again, I think Heupel might be hurting his career in the long run if he's, doesn't do anything at Tennessee and he's got a terrible record there, which is very likely. What does that do for him in the long run?
Could be. And I don't know this for sure about Heupel, but I talked to an Oklahoma fan who does, who obviously knows a lot more about Josh Heupel than I do. He played there and coached there originally for a while. And he says Heupel's a terrible recruiter. So that's not good news either.
Really?
Yeah, that's not good news either.
No, not at all. Definitely. But another thing, too, about saying the defensive coordinator from Miami leaving, Baker.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad he's gone. I mean, to me, he didn't have any fire in that team. I mean, Miami's not the best team. We all know that. But they've got talent on that defense, and they've had for years, and they've gotten worse under him. So I'm not really sad to see him go, depending on who they get, I guess. But I think Baker just didn't have the fire there. He just seemed like a deer in headlights. Once he got caught, he didn't know what to do. I think it's a good idea that he's gone.
Yeah. I don't know. I know all the Miami fans hated him. Other than that, I don't know that much about him. I hear him complaining about him all the time.
Well, I'm not saying he's terrible, but it's just it's like he froze. He had decent defenses where he was before, and he's worked with Manny for most of his career off and on. So maybe they need a break from each other. Maybe that's what the problem is. And I think Manny covered him for a long time. Not saying Manny's, the best coach in the world either, but Manny's a defensive-minded coach, and you figure he would, try to flourish with his buddy and his friend and try to make something of it, but he just seemed to get caught in the headlights and didn't move, and he got ran over. So I think that's a good change for Miami in the long run, but we'll see. But I just figured out how I ain't talked to you in a while, so I ain't got a whole lot to say. Just saying what's up.
Yeah, it was good to hear from you, and get ready for that Alabama game. I guess I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you.
Come on now. I'm a logical guy. That Bama game is gonna be a train wreck, but hey, I'll watch it.
Of course, me too.
But you have a good evening, man, and
all right,
everybody
buddy.
else take care.
You too. Good to hear from you. Bears, Cubs, Canes calling in. 706-786-4481 is the number if you want to get on the show. I'll leave the phone lines up for another minute or two before I turn them off. There's nobody on hold right now if somebody wants to try to get in. If not, I'm going to turn the phone system off. Oh, God. Burger King in here trolling his own self. He don't even realize it. I love when people troll their self. Let's see. Where are we at? Begging Megan, thoughts and prayers for Carolina jackpot. Yep. Syracuse and Buffalo Sports says, okay, was just asking. Somebody definitely is. And it sure isn't right. Are you the guy that co-hosts with him? Syracuse and Buffalo Sports. Are you the guy that used to do some shows with him? Let me know if you are. Creeping Death, thank you for the super chat. A&M fan, bad as Tech fans. All talk. No conference titles. Texas A&M is just a disaster. Oh, you are? Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know, so I can hide you on this channel. Thank you. Keep running your fucking mouth about Uncle Ludo. Bitch made pussy. Bama Banker, thank you for the super chat. He says, another Aggie bites the dust. 0 for 3, the Aggies are today. Syracuse, best for you to stay over there on that pedophiles channel. Okay, don't come over here. All right, stay over there and run your mouth like Lou, like you've been doing for the last 6 months. Don't come over here. Stay on that Rudy channel or go to Minecraft. I know what you're looking for, and what you're looking for is in the comments section of most Minecraft channels. So go there. I'll come over here. Somebody ought to slap the stupid off of you too, if I'm being honest. Which clearly I am. Yep. Good morning, but you're on with Uncle Ludo also in 2.
Hey, Uncle Luke. Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hey, Uncle Luke. How you feel about the Gunner Stalker quarterback committing to Georgia this afternoon?
I feel the same way about it I did during the first 15 minutes of this show when I talked about it, and I'm going to put a video up on it tomorrow. So you can click back and watch the first 15 minutes or check the video out tomorrow. Thank you for the call, though. I appreciate that. Good people. Good people.
Whoopity doo!
I bust my ass, Lou. That's what I do every day. So you be careful who you mouth off to, jerk off. I'm just a little bit perturbed.
I don't blame you. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou.
Yes.
What's up, guy?
I'm doing a call-in show on YouTube.
Okay, sorry about that, Louie.
Between these trolls and people that are so brain dead, they've fallen into this QAnon thing, I am losing all faith in humanity.
Shitter's full.
I'm gonna snort some cayenne pepper up my nose.
Whoa, tired, woo! Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Hey Lou, it's Jordan Bowman, the comment section's resident Tater fan here.
Yes, good morning in that.
Yeah, morning in that. Congratulations on the Gunner Stockton commit. Big news.
Thank you.
Didn't call in to talk about that,
Okay,
but
good.
I love to see the South Carolina fan suffer.
Oh yeah, they
So,
big mad.
Even if it's
Stay mad.
even if it's at the benefit of Georgia.
Right.
But I just wanted to ask, what kind of concerns do you have for Georgia in the 2021 season, like position group wise?
Defensive back, that's it. That's all.
Yeah, I know you guys are losing Mark Webb, is that his name?
Well, he's not any good.
No, he's
I mean,
not.
yeah,
Did
we're
you see
losing him.
the,
We're losing him, yes, but he's not any good.
Did you see the Senior Bowl highlights? He had a rough day.
No, I didn't see him, but I'm not surprised, like at all.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. But yeah, that's as far as Clemson is concerned, I'm mostly worried about the offensive line. That's probably my biggest thing. We're turning pretty much everybody on defense. So like we just lost Cade Stewart. He's not coming back our center. It seems like we don't have any continuity there. So I'm a little worried about that. I think that Georgia obviously is just going to have a really good defensive line, and we're going to have to find a way to stop that.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Oh, maybe you can tell me, because someone told we actually had a Tater call in earlier. Told me the ukulele destroyed teams last year. Can you tell me who those teams were he was referring to? Who he destroyed?
That would be Boston College and Notre Dame.
He destroyed Notre Dame?
Well, he didn't destroy Notre Dame, but he threw all over them.
Oh.
He really didn't destroy either one of those teams. They were both one possession games, but he had a good individual performance.
Okay. I was told he destroyed teams last year. I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure which teams
I
the caller
don't
was
co-sign.
referring to.
I don't co-sign that. He didn't destroy anybody,
Okay.
but he played great in those two games.
Gotcha.
His first two career starts. So all things considered, I think that if you give him a full spring, I think he'll be pretty good.
Oh, I think he's good
Pretty
too.
good.
Yeah, I think he's good too. Yeah, I think he's good too. No doubt about it.
Justin Ross is coming back, right?
Of course, I know that. Yeah. Who else you got coming back?
We're going to
over
throw
there?
all over you, right?
With Justin Raw, who else? Who else going to catch them? Who else is catching it?
I don't know if you've heard of him, but his name is E.J. Williams. He made a pretty good one-handed catch in the ACC championship game. He's from the same high school that Justin Ross went to. Yeah, he's pretty good too.
Let me ask you this, because I know you like your wide receivers. Y'all got some pretty good wide receivers, right? You just named a couple.
Always do.
Who has a better wide receiver core, Georgia or Clemson?
I would say, well, it depends on. That's a good question. I would say that Georgia has a more proven wide receiver core, just overall. I think George Pickens is obviously very good. Jermaine Burton is coming into his own. Is D-Rob coming back?
I don't know where else he would go.
Because he's only
he's a senior.
Oh,
but,
he's a senior. Yeah,
but
okay.
you know that not that matters anymore.
Yeah. And you had that tight end. What's his name? Darnell Washington.
Oh
He's
yeah,
pretty
Darnell
good.
Washington. Yeah, Kyrus Jackson,
I forgot about Kyrus
Arian
Jackson.
Smith.
Yeah, you got a pretty good stable of wide receivers there.
I would say so. Dominic Blaylock.
But who has the better quarterback throwing them the ball? That's an interesting question.
Well, JT played 4 games. The ukulele played 2. Their yards per game are probably pretty similar.
Well, let's see. DJ threw for like 350 against Boston College and 440 or something like that. Yeah, 440, like 439 or something like that against Notre Dame.
He's
that's
probably got a higher per game average then, because Daniels had the 2 400 games, but the other 2
wise, he's
weren't
only
that
played
high.
2 games, so I'm not gonna hold that against JT.
Yeah,
but that should be I think that will be the deciding factor. I think it's just whoever's quarterback plays better. JT Daniels is obviously older, and they actually played each other in high school a couple times.
Wonder who won that game.
When JT Daniels, well, JT Daniels had a stacked high school team. More stacked than DJ did.
Oh, okay.
And JT Daniels was older. I mean, he was throwing to Amon-Ra St. Brown.
And who has
Have
the
you
more?
seen
Who has the
QB1
more? And who has the more talented team now?
Well, according to the 247 composite, Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah, but that hasn't really mattered much.
Reality is starting to set in
now
it.
has.
Reality is starting to set in it. And you got 8 months.
The reality that Clemson does more with less? Yes.
No, not that. No. Listen, you lost to Notre Dame. That was an ACC game, and you still managed to make the playoffs. Losing to Georgia is not going to derail your season. There's no reason to beat yourself up. I know reality is setting in.
Isn't going to derail Georgia's season either.
Well, we're not.
There's no shame in losing to Clemson.
We've been playing you for 100. We've been playing you for 100 years
for the last 7 years.
Well, we've been playing you for 100 years, and we're 42-18. So, I like those.
That is
like
correct.
Those odds,
but we have not played. We have not played each other in the last 7 years, sir.
Well, that's true, and what a coincidence! That's when you got
and Clemson
somehow got good.
Clemson has been way better than Georgia.
You somehow managed to make. You somehow managed to have great seasons and make the postseason when you don't have to play Georgia in the regular season. It's just crazy how that works. Reminds me of Notre Dame.
Well.
Notre Dame has made the playoffs 2 out of the last 4 years. Notre Dame has made the playoffs 2 out of the last 4 years, have they not? The 2 years that they did not play Georgia. Welcome to the club, Tater Man. Thank you for the call, Jordan. It was good to hear from you, sir. I got to keep it moving, though. Thank you for the call, sir. I could do this all day, but we got 8 months. But, we're putting Clemson on the Notre Dame plan, which is if you want to make the playoffs, don't schedule UGA. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Hello, Uncle Lou. This is Jabbar Jones. I have a quick question about Ohio State.
All right.
Your thoughts on Ohio State? What do you think about Ohio State season next year? They're losing a lot of people, and I just wanted to see your overall thoughts.
The quarterback is very highly rated that you guys have taken over, and it hasn't seemed to matter who the quarterback is at Ohio State for the last 5 or 6 years. They put up ridiculous numbers. I think your defense will be better next year than it was this year. You got to find a running back. Sermon's gone. Sermon's leaving. I'm assuming that's the case. Master Teague, not very good anyway. But anyway, I'm not too concerned about Ohio State, at least within the Big Ten. I think you'll still find a way to beat Michigan, Penn State. It's hard to put a lot of faith in them after the way they look this year. So will Ohio State be as good as they were this year? I don't know, but I still think Ohio State is probably the favorite and will win the Big Ten.
Yeah, Master Teague. I mean, I never really was big on Master Teague last season.
Partly
this
because
season
he's not
seems
good.
like he has improved a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, what you say?
Yeah, he's maybe improved a little bit. I don't know.
A little bit.
Yeah, maybe. So is he still there? I don't know.
Or maybe because J.K. is not there.
Yeah, well, been a while since J.K. was there, but
Yeah,
Trey
but-
Sermon, Trey Sermon was good. Master Teague, not so good. But yeah, I think Ohio State will be fine. I mean, they recruit in the top 5 every year. They're not falling off the map anytime soon. Thank you for the call in that, and also in 2. Yep. But good morning though. But you're on with Uncle Lou though.
Hello, Uncle Lou.
Hello.
This is Andrew, first-time caller. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I just want to get your opinion on the new Georgia defensive back that we hired from West Virginia. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I like the hire.
Yes.
I mean, West Virginia had the best defense they've had in a long time. I mean, it's not very often you see a Big 12 team finish in the top 10 in defense like that. So, I think it's a pretty good hire. He's going to have a lot more talent to work with at Georgia than he had at West Virginia. So,
I think they were number 1 in passing yards allowed in America.
that might be. They had the number 1 overall defense for a while, for about the first half of the season. So I don't know for sure if it was they finished number 1 in passing or not. I know they were a top 10 defense and best defense that they've had in a long time. So I'm assuming he gets some of the credit for that. So I like to hire.
Another thing I wanted to say was, I think we have a very good shot at winning the national title next year. I was just curious, is there like any position groups that you're like kind of concerned about that could probably hold us back? Like, for example, like the secondary, I'm not questioning the talent. Yeah, I'm not questioning the talent. I'm just questioning like the experience.
Yeah, me too. The secondary. I mean, we're in a passing age of football, and the SEC has slowly over the last 4 or 5 years become a passing league. I mean, Georgia's really the only team. South Carolina a little bit this year. Auburn at times this year were more of a run team, but almost everyone else in the SEC has gone to more of a wide open spread RPO type of offense. And so secondaries are going to get tested. Now, one way to make up for a not so great secondary or an inexperienced secondary, whatever you want to say, is with an elite pass rush. So Georgia needs, especially early in the season, I think Georgia's pass rush is going to be very important, because I don't know that the defensive backs are going to be. I think Georgia's secondary will get better as the year goes along because they're so inexperienced to start out the year. But I'm a little worried about them in the beginning of the year. And that's really the only position group that concerns me at all. I'm not worried in the least about any other position group on the field. Thank you for the call. Let's see what we have in this and that. Good morning, Patron, with Uncle Lou, though.
Uncle Lou, it's Scott Kerr with the fake news.
Yeah,
How
good.
you doing,
I'm
my
doing
friend?
great. Doing great, Scott. How are you, sir?
Well, listen, it sounds like they must have been serving charred pie at Perkins tonight.
Oh, my God.
From some of the calls. My God, man, you were the hardest working man on YouTube.
Yeah.
When I listened to some of these calls that come in on for you.
It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it.
Man, and you do it extremely well. I have one serious question to ask you. I don't know. I guess you've heard about Muschamp hanging out at UGA.
Yeah.
And I know that Muschamp and Kirby go way back in their college career days and all that. And Muschamp is former alum of UGA. That he may come as an analyst and keep his buyout money. But do you think that Kirby would ever give up the opportunity to allow Muschamp to be a defensive coordinator at Georgia?
No, I don't think Kirby would rule that out at all. Whether or not Will Muschamp would do it, that I'm not so sure, but I don't think Kirby would rule that out. Now, not right now. I think he's happy with who we have right now, but I don't think.
Yeah.
Like forget whether we're happy or not with who we have. Just the question in general would. Like, in other words, does Kirby think Will Muschamp is a great defensive coordinator? Yeah, I think he does think that. I think everybody thinks that. I think that.
Yeah, I everyone agrees with that. But Kirby's a great defensive mind too, and I'm just wondering if that would clash. That's the only reason I asked that question.
I think it would be the issue. I think would be. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with your best friend in high school. what 30 years later, do you want to go to work up under him? Let's say you start a company selling widgets, and your best friend from high school starts a company selling widgets, and you're both successful.
Yeah.
But he runs his company into the ground for whatever reason. His business has to close their doors. Is he willing to come work up under you? I don't know. So I don't know how that would work. I mean, they were teammates basically. They're about the same age. Their careers mimic each other in a lot of ways. Now, not wins and losses as head coaches, but career path wise, both DC, both defensive guys, both defensive coordinators, both became head coaches in the SEC. I don't know that Will Muschamp would be willing to go to work up under him. I don't know how that relationship would work, but I do think Will Muschamp's a great defensive coordinator, and Kirby probably, I would assume, agrees.
Yeah, and I think he'll wind up somewhere as defensive coordinator, and it certainly wouldn't hurt Georgia to have him. Hey, just some stock tips for you folks out there. Buy Blockbuster and buy Circuit City.
Blockbuster and Circuit
and I will
City.
talk to.
Okay.
And I'll talk to you Monday, my friend.
All right, Scott.
You take care of yourself. Huh?
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll
man.
try.
Bye.
All right, bye. Oh, yeah. Scott Kerr says go out and buy you Circuit City stock. Oh, God. Good morning. You're on with Uncle Lou.
Well, it's not bad. You get investment advice and college football talk on Uncle Lou. That's pretty good, huh,
That's
Lou?
right. Yeah, can't beat it.
Uncle Lou, it's your favorite Ohio State fan, Dave Greenshield. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great, sir.
Just wanted to I've a couple quick questions, and I wanted to kind of comment on what the Ohio State fan had mentioned. I do think they got some holes to fill next year. I'm excited to see what C.J. Stroud, which I think is going to be the possible starter, can do. I agree with you about tailback, although I do think Travion Henderson, 5-star coming in out of Virginia, could be really, really good next year. I'm not a big Teague fan. I think he's more or less a glorified fullback.
I agree with that. That's a good description of him. He's not bad between the tackles, short down.
Right.
Well, I think what it is we're used to Ezekiel Elliott, J.K. Dobbins, right? Breakaway speed, 80-yard touchdown runs. That's just not Master Teague. I think that's a good way to describe him. He's not a useless running back. I mean, a lot of teams use multiple running backs nowadays. He's a good guy to have for short yardage. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think that, obviously you can see the differential in the title game. I mean, Sermon obviously coming in as hot as he was, had the ability to make the cutback. Whereas, with Teague, it's just hit the hole and then that's it.
Yeah.
And it better be a big hole to run through because he's not going to make very many people miss, obviously. And then, obviously, I think they do have some questions on defense, particularly in this secondary after last year. So, but the good news is they've recruited really well in those two areas. So I'm going to be interested to see if they're better. My bottom line for next year, just real quick, before I get to my couple questions for you, is I think that they're going to win the Big Ten. I did my prediction the last time I was on. I didn't have them as a playoff team. I kind of see them slipping up maybe a game or two and basically kind of being like they were in 17 and 18, where they win the Big Ten and then maybe go to a major bowl game. Just my overall kind of early vibe.
Not a bad. I mean, we have to be honest about Ohio State. They're one of the best programs in America right now, year in and year out. But they're not Alabama, Clemson, or Oklahoma, a team that makes the playoffs almost every single year, over and over and over and over and over. Like you said, they missed it a couple of years. Now they've made it 2 years in a row again. Could they make it a third year in a row? Of course they could, especially if the Pac-12 struggles again. Maybe the Big 12, something funny happens there. Ohio State could definitely get in for sure. We also have Notre Dame again on the outside now as an independent, so you have to factor that in. They're not going to be playing in an ACC title game this year, so will they finish 11-1 or 12-0? So I don't know, but like you, I feel like Ohio State, until proven otherwise, is the cream of the crop in the Big Ten. I don't have any faith in Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. Penn State was a huge disappointment this year. How much of that was coronavirus fault? I don't know. Find out next year. But forget coronavirus, they're losing some key players. So we'll see. I think it sets up pretty good. Nebraska's in the toilet still. Now, Wisconsin is a team maybe to watch. They had a freshman quarterback this year. He was hurt some, plus you had the coronavirus issues. Maybe Wisconsin's a little better next year. Maybe they're the team Ohio State has to worry about in the Big Ten. We'll see. But if I had to put $1 on a team right now to win the Big Ten, it would be Ohio State.
I agree. On to my couple quick questions for you, Lou. I wanted to ask you. I don't know how much you follow the draft, but I've seen some of the draft experts rank Zach Wilson ahead of Justin Fields. As the number 2 quarterback behind Trevor Lawrence. Just real quick, what's your impression of Wilson from what you've seen? And obviously it's got to be the team's need, but could you see a world where he's taken ahead of Justin Fields? Just from what you've seen.
There's a lot of smart people in the NFL, so I don't want this to come off wrong. But sometimes it seems like some of these people try to be too smart. And I could see a scenario where somebody tries to convince themselves that they're better off taking a Zach Wilson than a Justin Fields. I would take Justin Fields, especially. Well, it's probably going to be a team that needs him to start immediately. I could also see a scenario where people look at Justin Fields and go, you know what? JT Barrett, not an NFL quarterback. Cardell Jones, not an NFL quarterback. Dwayne Haskins, not an NFL quarterback. And they all did the same thing Justin Fields did. So do we really want to take this guy number 2 overall? I can see that. I can see an argument being made for that. But I think Justin Fields is better than those guys. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm a little biased because I've been following him since he was a junior in high school, basically. So maybe I'm a little biased when it comes to Justin Fields, but I would take Trevor Lawrence number 1. And then the next team that needs a quarterback, if it was me, I would take Justin Fields. But I think I think the guy from BYU is good too. I also think Justin Fields played against better competition week in and week out than the guy from BYU did. I don't think there's any dispute about that. So I would take Justin Fields. But some of these NFL GMs and personnel people, they always trying to outsmart somebody and think they trying to justify their salary. I mean, you don't need to make $500,000 a year to think that Justin Fields should be the number 2 pick. But if you're making $500,000 a year, maybe you need to feel like you need to convince people that you're smarter than everybody else, and so you take Zach Wilson or whatever. I don't know. I have no idea.
I agree with you, Blue. I just think he's ahead of those. A lot of those quarterbacks were just really good college quarterbacks. I think Haskins probably would have benefited himself. Obviously, you can see from a maturity standpoint to stay another year. But I think because he closed out that year so strong and it was a weak quarterback class, he felt he was going to get drafted high, and he struck while the iron's hot. Meanwhile, he probably should have stayed another year. Although if he'd have stayed another year, we wouldn't have gotten Justin Fields. So
I also feel like it might not be over for Dwayne Haskins. Like, he did land in a really bad spot at Washington, and then they changed coaches out from under him, and the coach they brought in didn't like him. And so that was an issue. So, maybe he lands somewhere else and it works out for him. I don't know, but it wasn't a good fit at Washington. He didn't look amazing there. So we'll see what happens, but yeah.
Lou, real quick before I let you go, I wanted to ask you, and I don't know if you've been hearing from your Tennessee people, but I'm going to quote a certain Tennessee fan that you're not necessarily a fan of, that has a show by the name of Mr. Travis. But he had said that he was talking about James Franklin being a possibility. Were you hearing that from Tennessee people? And what do you think? What kind of fit do you think that would have been?
I had somebody call in earlier that said James Franklin was interviewed for the job and turned it down. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I love James Franklin. Now's not a good time to be saying that after the year Penn State had, but I just can't get it out of my head that the guy was winning 9 or 10, whatever it was, games at Vandy. I don't think, outside of the SEC, I'm not sure people understand how amazing that is.
Well, the SEC, that side of the division was a little bit weak at the time, though, Lou.
A little bit. But we're talking about Vandy. We're talking about Vandy here. That's true. I mean, I don't know. And Georgia was still winning 10 games the majority of those years. And so,
true.
I don't know.
All right. Well, just wanted to get your opinion on that. Good stuff, Lou. Take care of yourself, man.
All right, buddy. You too. Good to hear from you. Played a clip of you yelling at your neighbor, says Riley Korn. lady, how about you shut the up? I'm doing Lou too, bitch. Yeah, lady. Good morning, you're on with Uncle Lou.
Oh, hey, Lou. It's Jared. How's it going?
Going great, sir.
All right. So before I ask my question, I just want to set some groundwork just so everyone that's not a Georgia fan listening knows. You would say it's fair to say Georgia has been a quarterback away from not just competing, because they competed for a national championship, but from winning a national championship for 4 years about now, right?
I think if Georgia would have signed a legitimate quarterback in 2016 or 17 and played him all 4 years, the odds are good that Georgia would have won at least one national championship at some point in the last 4 years. Yes.
All right. So now you're going into 2021. You know, stars are aligned. You have your quarterback now. Second highest talent index you've ever had, second only to the year that you won the SEC. Some people even have you favored over Clemson, and that's going to be an exciting game. So my question for you is, if everything doesn't go the way that it's supposed to, where do you go from there?
Go on to the next year. I mean, I don't know what else you could possibly do. Now, it would depend. It would depend why things didn't go the way we wanted to go, or what games we lost, or who we lost to, and how we lost them, and things like that, as far as what I might say about that afterwards. I mean, if we lose to Clemson by 3 points and then finish the regular season 11-1, and then lose to Alabama in the SEC title game by 3, and finish 5th in the final playoff poll, what am I supposed to do? I mean, I'm not going to be happy, but I mean, am I supposed to say fire Kirby Smart because he lost to Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney, 2 top 4 teams, by 3 points? I don't know what.
I think you'd only say that if you started Stetson Bennett.
Well, yeah, you better not do that. I mean, that better not happen. But I mean, I think Georgia is positioned right now. I don't know that there's been a year where Georgia had more legitimate national title expectations than they have this year. I mean, Georgia was on no one's radar in 17, and that was the year we came the closest. We were pretty highly ranked going into 18, and 19 really, and not so highly ranked this past year because of some questions at the quarterback position. But this year, and it's a combination of things. Florida lost their entire offense. Tennessee is starting over again. South Carolina is starting over. Auburn is starting over. That's 3 wins. Who's left? Kentucky, Vandy, and Mizzou. Okay, and then we play Arkansas from the West. Who's beating Georgia, not named Clemson? And again, my goal is not to go 15-0. Maybe if I'm Alabama and I'm sitting on 5 national or 6 national titles, whatever it is, in the last 12 years, maybe I have a goal of 15-0. Oh man, sure would be fun to go undefeated. That's not my goal. So losing to Clemson, while I would be disappointed, would do nothing to change my expectations for the season, unless we got blown out or something. But if we lose a close game to Clemson, my expectations for the season won't change. I would expect to win the next 11 games and go into Atlanta with a chance to make the playoffs with a win.
All right. I have a second question for you, but if you want to kick me off because other callers, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. I know you're not a big NFL guy, but Matthew Stafford's been sitting up probably the most consistently bad franchise for the last however many years. Seems like forever. Finally, he's demanding a trade, getting out of there. Finally going to go somewhere. What's your thoughts on that?
I would have liked to have seen him get out of there sooner, but for whatever reason, he seemed to like it up there. Also, they made him the highest paid player in the history of football when they gave him his last contract. Now, that has since been eclipsed by other quarterbacks, but at the time, it was the highest contract ever when he got it, so I don't blame him for staying. But Matthew Stafford is not the first elite player that Detroit has taken a shit on. I mean, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. I mean, Detroit, they seem to have, for whatever reason, they can't win a playoff game. I get it that quarterbacks get way too much credit when they win and way too much blame when they don't. Matthew Stafford's one of the best 10 or 15 quarterbacks in the NFL still, right now. I think he was the quickest quarterback ever to 40,000 yards. And he did this in an age where everyone was throwing the ball all the time. So I think the guy's a really good quarterback. He's not very mobile, and maybe that hurts his value a little bit in today's football. As far as where he might land, I really don't know outside of the teams that might be looking for quarterbacks and aren't drafting really high to get a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields. So Indianapolis, New England. What about Houston? If they trade Deshaun Watson, they need a quarterback. So I don't know. Maybe those are some possibilities, but I really don't follow it enough to know where he might land. I hope he lands on a team that's good enough to give him at least a shot to go to the playoffs a time or two. Not that he would lead a team to a Super Bowl. Maybe, I don't know, but I would like to see him land somewhere in an organization that is serious about winning. And clearly Detroit is not, and never has been, not in my lifetime.
All right. Hey, thanks for your time. Love the show.
Hey, thanks, buddy. I appreciate you calling in. It was good to hear from you. Okay, there's nobody on hold, so I'm going to turn the phone lines off. There we go. Phone lines off. Andrew. Hashtag stonks. All right, tell the truth in the comment section now. Don't be one of these people that comes in here. I put $50,000 on GameStop 2 weeks ago. Ha, 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 now I'm a millionaire. Has anybody put any money in the last week on GameStop, AMC, BlackBerry, Nokia, Doge, or whatever the hell it is, DOGE, any of that? Has anybody actually got into that anytime in the last week? I put some money in there yesterday. No, was it yesterday or the day before? It's either yesterday or the day before. Not a lot. Not enough to get rich, no matter what. I mean, it could go up. It could go through the roof. I didn't put enough in there to get rich or anything like that. But I did want to be, if the troll army was going to take down a hedge fund, I wanted to be a part of it. So I did put some money in a couple of days ago. And I was extremely pissed off today when the game is rigged. And that's what makes me, that's what pisses me off. You know, the stock market is gambling. Okay, every time somebody makes money in the stock market, whether it's $1 or $1 billion, every time somebody makes money, someone loses money. That's just the way it works. It's legalized gambling. It's no different than betting on the winner of a football game. You're betting whether a stock will go up or down. You can bet that it'll go up. You can bet that it'll go down. If you're right, you make money. If you're wrong, you lose money. And everyone understands that. But what pisses me off is the game is tilted in favor of the big money, of the hedge funds, of the investment firms. And that's what pisses me off. If I take my life savings, whatever that is, and invest it in whatever company, and that company starts to tank, no one is stepping in to halt trading so that Uncle Lou doesn't lose his life savings. No one is going to go into the Robinhood app or the Stash app and disable everyone's ability to sell the stocks that I have to prevent me from losing the rest of my life savings. But if one of these hedge funds gets caught with their pants down, then they blow the whistle, everything stops, they halt trading multiple times per day to give these hedge funds a chance to regroup and come up with a plan. And then when that doesn't work, they take away the average person's ability to even trade the stock. And that is wrong. That's just wrong. I guess I really don't have anything against hedge funds or whatever, but it was kind of fun to be in on this thing. And what they did is just not right. And if you don't know, what they did is basically you had hedge funds that shorted a stock, GameStop. And I'm not an expert on the stock market, so I'm just going to give a very general explanation here. When you can either bet that a stock will go up or down, basically, right? If you buy a stock to hold it, you're hoping the stock goes up, right? Well, you can do what's called short a stock, which means you think that stock's going to go down. And if the stock goes down, you make money. If the stock goes up, you lose money. It's sort of the opposite of a normal investment. So you had this hedge fund that put billions, that shorted billions of game share stock, millions, or billion, whatever. They shorted it. A troll army, basically on Reddit, said, well, let's buy up all the GameStop stock, which will force the price up, and these hedge funds will lose money because they bet that it'll go down. And it was a fun game. And it worked. It worked. And then stories started coming out on the news. And more people started going in and buying GameStop stock, which drove the price even higher. And every dollar that GameStop stock went higher cost that hedge fund $1 times 1,000,000. One hedge fund lost $7 billion in the last 2 weeks. You're gambling, okay? You lost. And as this story started to gain traction and made its way off of Reddit onto mainstream news, everybody started buying GameStop stock. And it just kept getting higher and higher. GameStop stock was about $17 a share 2 weeks ago. Today it was up to $400. $400. If you put $1,000 into GameStop 2 weeks ago, that's worth about $100,000 now. So, as this story became popular over the last couple of days, your average idiot like me started putting money in GameStop. I want in on this troll army shit. So today, right after the market opened, Robinhood, Stash, all these personal investment apps that regular people like me and you use on our cell phones, they took away your ability to buy GameStop stock. All you could do was sell it. They took away your ability to buy it. All of them. You could not buy it. Well, when you can't buy a stock and all you can do is sell it, guess what happens? The price goes down. It's rigged. It should be illegal. It should be illegal. What they did is so wrong. And I didn't lose that much money, but maybe some people did. And you say, well, you just said, Lou, some people win, some people lose. Yeah, but the rules should not change in the middle of the game. That's the problem. And I get back to the original point. If I've got my life savings in Google and Google starts to tank, no one is going to step in, halt trading to protect Lou's money. But when the big boys start losing, they do. And that's not right. That's not right. And they took away the average man or woman, the average person's ability to buy GameStop stock today and AMC and a few others. You couldn't buy it. You just couldn't buy it. In a lot of cases, you couldn't even sell the stock you already had because you could not I couldn't log into my Stash app today all day. If I try to log in now, I might be able to log in. I might be able to get to buy or sell a stock, but as soon as I go to hit confirm, it's going to time out or give me an error message. All I could do today was watch my money go down. I couldn't sell, I couldn't buy, I couldn't do anything. And it's wrong. It's wrong. You know, it's just not right. The game is rigged. The game is rigged. Now, some people made a ton of money, and they're saying now they put some releases out tonight. All these apps did that. Tomorrow they're going to allow you to buy again. And over on Reddit, they're saying they're still going. They're telling you to still buy it over there. That they want to get it even higher. So I don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I didn't sell. Some people panicked today and sold. I didn't. I kept what I have. I have some GameStop and some AMC. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I don't know, but they, the stock exchange and all these people, they shouldn't be stepping in and shutting down people's ability. I mean, that's just wrong. That's just wrong what they did. So, and if you're going to get in on it, I don't do. I've never invested in. I know a lot of people do like the Bitcoin or what's the other one? Doge or whatever. A lot of people do that. I've never. I don't. I don't understand. I really don't understand enough about Bitcoin and all that to invest in. I know it's gone up a ton in the last year or whatever. Bitcoin's up to what, $32,000. One Bitcoin is $32,000 now. Unbelievable. But so I know a lot of people are in on that. I've never messed around with Bitcoin or any of that kind of stuff, the digital currency. Maybe I should, I don't know. And then I've got some Apple stock too that I don't mess with, that I just have. But we'll see what happens tomorrow with the AMC and the GameStop. Maybe I'll make a little bit of money. Maybe I'll lose a little bit. I don't know. But like I said, it's just funny to me that this troll army off of Reddit basically brought Wall Street to their knees. It's been fun to watch the last couple of days. Twitter has been very interesting. The r/Wall Street Bets has been very interesting to read the last few days, and it was fun to see a troll army, like I said, basically bring Wall Street to their knees. I've been telling y'all the trolls are undefeated, and now Wall Street's finding it out the hard way too. So, anyway. I think I'm going to get out of here. It's almost midnight. I appreciate all y'all tuning in, though. Thanks for the calls tonight. Appreciate the active comments section, all you guys that tuned in. Thumbs up. 199 thumbs up. One more person hit the thumbs up, give us 200. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. Rob Dog. Young Jedi, what's up, buddy? Good to see you in here. Courtney Washington, you might want to get your head checked. Some comments she was making earlier about Josh Heupel were a little alarming to me. Totally not depressed. Luke Walker, Jordan Bowman, Andrew Clown Grown is here. Okay. Eric Huffman, Mike Smith. Clown Grown you should have just cut it off after that first name. Would have been probably the most accurate YouTube name in history. Noel Squad, Bears, Cubs, Canes, Riley Horton, Blake Robinson, Justin Martin, Go Tigers 504. We them 504 boys. You a No Limit Soldier? No Limit Soldier. I thought I told you. Make him say, Hootie hoo! Hootie hoo! Shit, I'm going to play some Master P. How about that? I'm going to play some Master P. Have a good morning. Here comes some Master P for you. Let's see. And we the 504 boys. Ghetto D is one of the best rap albums of all time. Let's just be honest about things here. I don't. You can hate. You can hate on P all you if you want to. Ghetto D is one of the best rap albums of all time, in my opinion.
Hola, hola,
oh God, you turn everything on. They speak in Mexican, or whatever it's called. I don't know. Here we go. What is this? Pop said, P, keep your eyes on your enemies. Let's try this. Okay, enough with the ads already. Here we go.
Yo, Lokes, nigga, shit. I know you done whipped up this motherfucking dope, but we gonna break these niggas.
Nah, let's try this.
What are
one.
you doing on your phone?
I'm sorry.
God, boy, you gotta listen to ad every time, don't you?
After he leaves.
The game of life
Oh,
changed.
yes.
The old dope game
is now called the rap game. You can't trust nobody. Money's the root of all evil. I can either be your best friend or your worst nightmare.
If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me? I got my true niggas with me, and we riders. If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me? I got my true niggas with me, and we riders. Here we go with motherfucking caskets closed. Young niggas 14 doing dead row. Look into the eyes of some killers, drug dealers from the project. Young niggas pulling hits in the ghettos to make change. Gas cop niggas blasting on other gangs. Young villas in the ghetto starving. Hennessy and green when a young nigga ballin'. Pull the plug if they shot me. Chastise every nigga that try to stop me. Just a young nigga trying to make Skrilla. Learn to double it up with the killers and the drug dealers. If you want me, come.
It's hard. hard. It's hard to rap this song without accidentally saying the N-word, and I can't do that. Can you imagine if I was singing a song and accidentally said the N-word? My God, I'd be ruined overnight.
Times on the blocks in the project. Call my girl up, it's time to flip my counter check. I got cocaine, weed, and amphetamine. Pop said, P, keep your eyes on your enemies. I ain't trusting no nigga or no bitch. That's the recipe in the hood, nigga, to getting rich. Does keep my gas right beside them. True niggas keep my gas, cause we riders. Hold the gauge, motherfucker, why I blow his head. Hit the horn, motherfucker, 2 niggas dead. R.I.P. tattoo, weed and Hennessy. Blow dust to the motherfucking enemy. If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me? I got my true niggas with me and we riders. If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me? I got my true niggas with me and we riders. In school, it's pencils and pads and books. In the ghetto, it's texts and killers and crooks. I done seen bloodshed over blood money. I done seen niggas kill over drug money. Got the game from some OGs ballin'. Down here, third wall, Cali, yo, New Orleans. I won't change till they bury me a paid nigga. I won't change cause the P is a made nigga. I got killers and dealers on my side. I got homies and jackals ready to ride. Got the game in my bag cause I'm about this. How many niggas out there really doubt this? If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me? I got my true niggas with me and we riders. If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me? I got my true niggas with me and we riders. If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me? I got my true niggas with me and we riders. If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me? I got my true niggas with me and we riders.
Camouflage and all that. Murder, murder, kill, killing shit. Bad nigga from the bricks, blood on my kicks. Seen it all in the project halls and the street corners. And never choked even when them folks ran up on us. Soldier rag sag on my eye, no lie. Fuck with me for show die, no lie. A million niggas follow my lead. The envious to swallow my feed. Laying niggas down like Apollo Creed need. Got my game from that nigga verses. Keep your enemies close, shoot first and show the face.
It's so hard not to say the N-word.
With them youngsters in your life, nigga, you don't wanna live amongst us. We ain't right, I was born in it. Y'all niggas was sworn in it. Fuck around and get your whole clique tormented. Bulletproof vest, cover my chest, so you best aim for my brain if you're trying to put me to rest.
No, lady, how about you shut the f*** up? I'm doing Bluetooth, bitch. Niggas with me and we riders. If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me? I got my true niggas with me and we riders. If you want me, come get me. How the fuck you gon' take me?
The reason your hair is thinning has been your
Sorry, I'm late. What are you doing? House meeting? What'd you do now, Carly?
AT&T, we found out your advertising gig speeds.
That we can't sign up for here.
You know what? I can't be everything to everybody, Carly.
What are you doing on your phone?
I'm
This
sorry,
is a
I
good
left
one.
a gentleman alone in my apartment, so I'm tracking him to make sure he leaves.
This is a good one.
Wood grain with the leather seats. Windows so dark you need a flashlight to see me. Smoking on that Doja. 4 niggas in the back screaming no limit soldier. True to the gizang. Stopped in the project, sold a half an ounce of cocaine. Hit interstate, in the Texas. Listening to DJ Screw just raced the Lexus. Called up Pimp C. Did a song last week with my nigga Bun B. Twisting on some green spinach. And niggas still tripping, I ain't dead, I'm still in it. This is for the bourbons and the Cadillacs with the 10s and the 12s bumping in the back. This is for the players hustle Pimps and Max with the Benz making enemies, paper stacks.
See, pocket full of dollars already stacked, so I'm gangsta leaning sideways. Today ain't Friday, pretend it is, and today is my day. Take it from Mr. Huntsburg Rider, Cadillac Suburban driver, pussy diver, Mr. Glock beside when I'm riding. Flossing down the block, hollering my boys up in the third. Got the latest word, swerve to the side of the curb. Phoenix wanting me to serve her. Say, bitch can't tell I'm off, but I still give him $5 to wipe my white walls. Then I burst about the block, dropped the top cause it was hot. Hit the spot with the most hoes at the sideshow about the plot. Hitting donuts, and you know I'm acting a straight up minutes. Catch me spinning, you can tell I was there cause like a cloud of smoke when I finished. I seen 5-0 and they ain't even trying to sweat me. Think they be a nice knock cause I got 185 on the hood, they know they can't catch me. And if you see me chilling, you can stop me. But I keep that Glock 40 up on the dash, you never know who might not be. And this is for the player.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together. Better now than never, business before pleasure. P. Diddy and the fam, who you know do it better. Yeah, right, no matter what, we airtight. So when you hear something, make sure you hear it right. Don't make an ass out of yourself by assuming our music keeps you moving. What are you proving? You know that I'm 2 levels above you, baby. Hug me, baby, I'ma make you love me, baby. Talking crazy ain't gonna get you nothing but choke. And that jealousy is only gonna leave you broke. So the only thing left now is God for these cats. And big, you know you're too hard for these cats. I'ma win cause I'm too smart for these cats. While they making up facts, you waking up flat.
In the commission, you ask for permission to hit him. He don't like me, hit him while wifey was with him. You heard of us, the murderers, most shady. Been on the low lately, the feds hate me. The sun is they say my killing's too blatant. You hesitating, I'm in your mama crib waiting. Duct taping, your fam, destiny lays in my hands. Gat lays in my waist. Francis, M to the is H phenomenal. Gun rest under your vest, by the abdominal. Rhyme a few bars so I can buy a few cars. Then I kick a few flows so I can pimp a few hoes. Excellence is my presence. Never tense, never hesitate. Leave a nigga bent, real quick, real sick. Wrong nights, I perform like Mike. Anyone, Tyson, Jordan, Jackson, action, pack guns, ridiculous. And I'm quick to bust if my ends you touch. Kids a girl you touch. In this world I clutch. 2 auto, Matos. Used to call me Fatso, now you call me Castro. My rap flows militant, y'all faggots ain't killing shit. Oops, Cristal keeps spilling shit. You overdid it, Holmes. You in the danger zone. You shouldn't be alone. Hold hands and say it like me. The most shady, Frankie baby, fantastic, graphic, trying to make dough like Jurassic. Parked in, quick to spark kids who start shit. See me, only me, the underboss of this Holocaust. Truly yours, Frank White.
I got the real live shit from front to back. To my people in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where the fuck my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? We got the real live shit from front to back. To my people in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where the fuck my bitches at? Where my bitches is at?
Put your money on the table and get your math on. Break it down, split it up, get your laugh on. See you later, dog, I'ma get my stash on. There's a bag full of money that I get my ass on. I never lose the passion to go platinum. Said I live it up till all the cash gone. Ain't that funny? Only use plastic, crafted to make classics. Hotter than acid, PD, rolling on your tape of CD. The Billboard killer, no
slice the heaters in the two-seaters with 2 meters. Senoritas, kiss rings when you meet us. P. Diddy run the city, show no pity. I'm the witty one, Frank the crook from the brook. Maddie broke the neck of your coke connect. No respect, squeeze off to all y'all diminish. Shootouts for 20 minutes until we finish. Then it's to the loot, escape in the coupe, break bread with the kiss. Panero, chic loots, Black Rob join the mob. It ain't no replacing him, niggas step up. We just macing them, placing them in funerals. Criminals turn the vows to Brick City. Nobody come off like P. Diddy. Business wise, I play men. Hard money on the island Cayman. Y'all just betray men, we spray men. Opposition, competition of a day in the life of the commission.
We got the real live shit from front to back. To my niggas in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where the fuck my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? We got the real live shit from front to back. To my niggas in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where the fuck my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? We got the real live shit from front to back. To my niggas in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where the fuck my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? We got the real live shit from front to back. To my niggas in the world, where the fuck you at? Where my niggas is at? Where my niggas is at? Where the fuck my bitches at? Where my bitches is at? We got the real live shit.
Fuck y'all niggas wanna do?
It's all fucked up now. What I'ma do now? Huh? What I'ma do now? It's all fucked up now.
Ride till I die. And I love it. Yeah. And I love it. Hey. Let's go. We count hundreds on the table, 20s on the floor. Fresh out of we on the way with some more. And I love it. Yeah. And I love it. I got gangsters in the crowd, man, brawls on my shoulders. Parked outside and it's sitting on four. And I love it. Yeah. And I love it. Once again it's on. Yeah, I'm back in the booth. Them haters still lying, but your boy still the truth. Yeah. I don't believe them. I need to see some proof. I ain't need 4 doors, so I went and copped the coupe. They try to be me, I'm trying to be G. And everything comes to the light, you'll see. The boys in the dark, baby, I just shine. I do it from the heart, homie, they just rhyme. Check your watch, yeah, it's my time. Mind made up, I was on my grind. So pay attention, yeah, you're on my time. In that case, time waits for no man. Do it again, I done it before, man. M.O.E., you ain't part of the program. Or maybe you ain't listening. Open your eyes, I'm a blessing in the sky. Count hundreds on the table, 20s on the floor. Fresh out of we on the way with some more. And I love it. And I love it. got gangsters in the crowd.
A-Town is on the shit. A-Town, yeah. Y'all know how we do around this time. Young Bloods, Lil Jon, yeah. Choke that thing, yeah, I mean. Hat lean, clothes smell like green. Ice and white tea, and white weed. I'm buy bread, real G, get G. Back to the street, back with Lil Jon. Back for the A, back reppin' for the slum. Put your hood up, show a nigga where you from. And if they hate that, then get the job done. What we rhyme, big wheel, chopping hard like me, like beer. What we drink, that we draw. Keep the bottle popping all night long. What we smoke, that good. President shit, George Bush. How we do it, like this. Get crunk, big.
16, I'ma give it to you raw. Take it to your ass, slap you clean, cross the jaw. Now where they at? Who want some? See, I don't think y'all really want none. See, I'm back with a whole new clip with a badass chick on some brand new shit. Now put 'em up to the sky. Get fucked, get drunk, get high. Shake 'em off, you know what to do. Take it to the floor, haul out your whole crew. Like what? Look, if you boss, see we still don't give a damn, and I never gave a fuck. To see I'm big timing, wrist stay blinding with 4 or 5 grease. Yeah, my pinky ring shining. I stay grinding and true to the street. If you ever need to find it, you know where we can meet.
What we rhyme, big wheel, chopping hard like me, like beer. What we drink, that we draw. Keep the bottle popping all night long. What we smoke, that good. President shit, George Bush. How we do it, like this. Get crunk, big. I feel big bang, and drink. That's why I got a purple Sprite, and y'all ain't. Y'all like big rim, seeing me is tall. So when you step down, baby girl, don't fall. Y'all niggas know the name. They call me Sean Paul, and I ain't got no flaws to sell, breaking the law. Niggas call me dope, cause I'm hard and I'm raw. Can call me that thing, one hit to make you call, and it's always beside me. Watch got diamonds, I ain't part-time, and I'm full-time grinding. The nigga one shining, blind nigga blinding. Niggas with the dimes in the whips that I be riding, and I don't pull them out into the trunk beat. And you can see you moving, sitting in the back seat. They wild on the east, they live in these streets, so I'ma keep my peace sitting on the front seat. What we rhyme, big wheel, chopping hard like me, like beer. What we drink, that we draw.
Okay, I'm gonna play this. Somebody left a comment. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Somebody left a comment on one of my videos. It was a link, and it said, "Check this song out." And I don't even really know what to say about it. I'm just gonna play the song now. I'm gonna play the video too, because you really need to see the video to really understand what's going on here. So I'll play some of the video. I need to know what I'm looking at here.
Show you how to be the man, how to be the boss, how to come through with 7 coats to the gloss. Show you how to be the man. Show you how to be the man. Show you how to be the man, how to be the boss, how to buy the car, how to buy the house. Show you how to be the man. Show you how to be the man. Show you how to be the man.
I'ma shine blaze like a shell. Yo, Conan the Barbarian style jewels on my neck. It's the white cliff, got a brick on my shelf, and I did it by myself. Bitch, you got a complaint? Leave it at the front desk. Shoot it through like Tony Delp. Yeah, my girl brought a girlfriend, made my heart melt. More diamond pointers than a Roosevelt elk. Yeah, mine's crystal clean, urine look like skin melt. Stop asking all them questions, you gon' wrinkle up myself. I'm in Shanghai with the top down. Raspberry Roger Clemens throwing 90 off the mound. Nolan Ryan, Texas Ranger with the sunset hound. Half a ticket on my neck every time I pop up. Instead of worrying about me, you need to get your stocks up. Yo, I'm a 3-wheel in a Dolce Gabbana truck. Looking to the men and wipe down all the drama. You got another baby mama while I'm chasing a third comma. Still finding who I am, left hand hologram. Fruity Pebbles, Toucan Sam. Ronnie J got the bass kicking, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Aventador, hard top, hit up Ken D'Antoni. All the way at West Palm Lamb. Left hand hold 200 grand, all cash. Skirt up off the lot and I did the whole dash. Tiptoe to the cellar, the white Mayweather. 40K yesterday, but it's gon' get better. Orange sapphires, they look like sunsets. I'm a jewel collect like Johnny Quest. Collect call. From who?
I said it's for set. Why you ain't been in more movies than Johnny Depp? Johnny Deep, deep pockets. I done flip so much cheese. Should apply to Johnny Rockets. Overqualified. Hold a lot of ties in the streets. Know a lot of guys.
I mean, this man's wearing a ghillie suit.
Flexing on them like I had a rubber spine. Lipping at this bitch like I was roller skating, drunk and blind. Out my way, bitches flashing to us from the balcony. For you, she's a mouse. For me, a rat. I leave her out my cave. About to say, ain't no about to say. Fuck what you about to say. Me and that high roller Jody. Fuck what you about to say. Catfish shoulda left me in the creek where you found me. Now you got that river water on you from my country. Counting mud mouth. That's the LSD hitting a petri dish. Must be, cause they tripping on my draw easel kit. Paint flying out that Krylon can up on the Eastern Bridge. AM 7 ounce Zilla. Go back on me, read the list. Go back homie, hating on me. I'm too heavy for them kids. This ain't nothing overnight except for me to do. Your bitch ain't interested. Bumblebee, interesting intellect. Infamous, pinky rings. American, everything in the mix. Baller Z, player spin that kicking tune. Been up in that trunk with 808 since you was still in school. Billy who? Billy's hell. Earnhardt, really Dale? Wanna laugh on suckers, motherfucker. Go pick up your mail. The Mullet King. Mullet King. Catfish. Really though. Jody High Roller. Fucking getting it. Fucking getting it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know what to say. Have a good morning, though.